me, Blake. Welcome to another episode of Around the Block with Blake. I'm here in beautiful West Austin, just outside of Austin, and I'm looking for one of my favorite agents who is somewhere close by, and we're going to be seeing Monica Fabbio. Oh, Monica, you're just standing here on the road next to me. What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
I'm looking for you. Let's go on a walk around the block with Blake.
Okay, let's do it.
So we're in this beautiful neighborhood here in, well, just west, as I mentioned, just west of Austin. What do you love in Austin? What's your favorite place in Austin?
Oh, goodness. If we're talking about entertainment, then I would have to say music-based.
You are a music person, right?
I am. I was a classical pianist throughout my whole childhood.
I didn't know that. How nice is that?
Yes, it was a really, I have to say, not a whole lot in front of people makes me nervous, but playing classical piano and Rachmaninoff in front of people
I bet.
is about as nervous as you will ever find me. But yeah, I used to live with my piano teacher a couple of weeks out of the year to get ready for some people from London coming in to test us. So it was a pretty big deal. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, so you really were kind of a special on the ivories.
Well, I will never be pleased with my piano performances, but I'm a perfectionist.
I hear you. In the world of real estate, what are your favorite neighborhoods? And actually, better question, where do you sell most? Where's most of your business these days?
So I've been doing this 23 years, and through that have worked just about every nook and cranny.
Right.
However, what I specialize in is luxury in general, unique, and farm, ranch, waterfront, and downtown living. So I would just say, if a blanket answer would be West Austin, meaning downtown all the way through areas like Westlake, Tarrytown, Pemberton, Lake Austin, Barton Creek, Spanish Oaks, and all the way out to the Lake Travis area, in the hill country.
Is there a street that is just your favorite street in Austin that you think of it and you say, if one day when I grow up, I wish I could live on this street?
So the two top of minds, Stratford Drive,
right?
Because you're close to town, but you still have views. The homes are beautiful, and probably Scenic, which is Scenic Drive over by where I used to hang out when I was at UT in Austin, by Boat Town. We used to sunbathe right there in college.
Right.
But that area, which is Lake Austin waterfront, has some beautiful properties that are very close to town.
Do you have any current activity over there? Anything you're selling in these areas that are really special?
I do. I'm working on.
You're always working on something, by the way. And that's one of the things I love about you is that there's never a day where you're not working, trying to make something special happen.
Yes, I like to make deals, kind of a deal junkie. And I like to learn constantly and do different types of deals. And I think one of my specialties is being a problem solver.
Right.
So there's usually some problem to solve in any given day. And I think that's the fun part when you've been doing it so long. I mean, that is what challenges you.
Is there a problem that crops up and you think, oh God, that problem, not again? Is there that recurring problem, or are you kind of past that phase in your business?
Well, I think especially in the market that we've had in Austin with the sales prices going up so quickly over the last 2 years. I mean, it's shifted a bit, but I'm still very, very bullish on our market in general. But I think, especially right now, to not have a seller shoot themselves in the foot by overpricing.
Right. Good point. Great one.
Yeah, the market's going to reveal itself, but I feel like some people are still thinking that we're in the old market, and it's still a great market in my opinion, but it's just, you don't need to overprice hoping that you're going to not underprice.
Well, you were just telling me a story about somebody who's off by maybe $1 million from where they want to be and where the market is. How do you deal with that client? And they're off by that huge amount of money.
Well, I have to be very up on facts in the market, and a lot of the stuff that we do in the very high end is private, so you're not going to just find this information easily. You've got to have a very good network of other realtors working in the same areas.
Right.
And so as long as you have facts and information and I think you have to have a personality that you are going to have to sometimes tell people what they need to hear, not what they want to hear.
Exactly, yeah.
And, um, if somebody wants to try something that's high, I hope to goodness that we can get it. We all make more money, right? But at the same time, there's that balance of shooting yourself in the foot, because if you do miss the price, especially in high-end luxury, and you're either on the market too long and getting a sunburn,
Right.
or if you're just not getting showings, that is going to probably hurt you way more than if you'd priced at market. You'll probably take about it, I've heard,
Right.
or seen 13 to 18% hit.
See, that's important information. That start off wrong, and that's a huge hit because that family didn't take the advice of the realtor, of their expert.
I always tell people it's a relationship, it's a partnership. We're on the same team. We're not on an opposite team. Like, why would you? I should be, and I am, one of the most trusted confidants in so many people's personal lives, and just
I sort of love that you said that personal confidant, because every aspect of a family's life is open to you to get that home sold or to help with the purchase. You know, the kids, the family, the dog, the cat, who comes and goes. You have to know it all to be the psychologist, to be the salesperson, to be the negotiator. And I have heard you're a wicked negotiator. That's the word on the street.
Well, I really try my hardest to not leave a single scrap on the table. However, I do think there's an art to negotiation where collaboration and making it feel like a win-win. Everybody wants something different. You just have to figure out what the other side is winning and what your folks want, and just make your folks happy. And it's not always about money.
That's true. So when you wake up in the morning, another day in real estate, what do you love most about your job?
I never know what's going to happen.
That's what I love, actually, is I can be in the worst mood, that phone rings, and it's something fantastic. It can be something bad too, but usually it's something fantastic.
It can just be a life-changing call.
Right.
And the people that I get to spend time with, and the vast majority of them become friends. I wish there was more time in a day to have one-on-one time with all of these people. Most of them are busy too.
Right.
But it's very interesting to have that dynamic day to day. It's not, I love the people that are in the office and love those relationships, but to have always something new, you never know what's going to present itself.
I hear you. Everyone I meet on my Around the Block with Blake, I tell them, oh, it's my favorite agent. But you really are one of my favorite agents because you do. I love realtors who do. And you, again, are a doer.
I have always been like that. And, we all have our reasons, whether it's out of fear or
There's fear, yeah.
But I have, since I was 5 years old, probably been what some people would, whether you want to call it an overachiever, perfectionist, workaholic.
Those are all traits of successful realtors. Absolutely.
I do believe that to really succeed, you've got to love it enough to be willing to do that, because that's what it takes.
23 years in the business. So I'm going to ask you some questions about when you first started, but I wanted to tell you, I meet new agents all the time. People are new to Compass. And it's pretty funny because I'll ask them the same question. You got to copy somebody out there to get started. Who do you love, how they market and who they are? And your name comes up almost every time. We kind of love Monica. Really, I say.
That's such a compliment.
I think it's an amazing compliment that people are looking to you. So realize everything you put out, people are looking at it and they're judging it. And the feedback from a new agent, they have no reason to tell me anything but the truth. So keep doing what you're doing because people love it.
Well, I have a great team, and I think that just the whole Fab Property Group branding is such a fun thing, because it's
the Fabulous and Fabbio.
It's not just the properties, it's the group.
Right.
Everything's fab. But I, of course, have always looked up to people, and I think we all need goals, mentors. I'm certainly not done and haven't achieved all that I want to. I'm still on this upward trajectory, I hope. And for me, I think that also means I continue to diversify, build, learn about all things real estate.
Awesome. How did you get into real estate? 23 years ago, 24 years ago, let's go a year before real estate,
Yes.
you were doing something else. What was that? And then how did the path go from there to becoming a realtor and today one of the top realtors in Austin?
Well, to rewind quite a bit, because I have a very diverse background, which I
do.
think has brought me to where I am. But I, my entire childhood was performing arts, dance, pas de deux, ballet, classically trained, piano, acting, musical theater. Went to UT, so I've been, born and bred in Texas.
That's right. So you are a Texas native, important.
I am. So I veered out of Texas one time for about 3.5 years to LA. And that was partly for my performing arts, and ended up coming back home. But after college, I had moved to Dallas and was doing more commercial type stuff and a talk show, and was graduate school.
Like
it was a lifestyle type. The first person I ever interviewed as like this 22-year-old was Bob Mackey, who designed Cher's gowns.
Sure, I remember Bob Mackey.
I was kind of
another gown by Bob Mackey.
Yes. So during all that, I was at a photo shoot for a commercial type thing, and I somehow got talked into doing a contest, let's call it. But a couple years after that day, I had won the international title for this, and that then gave me opportunities more than I'd had in Dallas, and ended up in LA and doing that. But I just looked at people who were very famous and a lot of people that I knew, and I really wasn't feeling that was the life that I wanted, and I felt so out of control of my own destiny, because you're either too short, too tall. Well, I was never too tall. You're too fat, you're too skinny, and it just, I was just being called back home because I wanted a family and more of a white picket fence, let's say, ish life. So I ended up getting into high tech. I had a job offer at Dell, but I ended up going with a smaller private company, and 6-7 years later, I was a regional VP of sales in voice data. So I have that fine arts and that high tech background, but I traveled too much. 38 business trips the first 11 months of my son's life is a story I always tell.
That's crazy.
It was insane. And 9/11 happened. We were getting on a plane, not one of those, but it was very scary. And so I was offered a severance and decided, I think the next day, I probably signed up for real estate thinking,
did someone tell you to be in real estate? Did you just figure that was kind of the place money could be made?
Always
Did it right?
Interest. My dad is an architect.
Right.
He is 88 years old and is still working. And I was always around that, and I love decor. I love architecture. I love homes, and I love numbers, and I love negotiating, and I love being creative. And so I really couldn't think of anything else. I think I was just made to do it, really.
So I love the fact that you found your calling, real estate.
It was a windy road.
Took a while, that windy road, but you're here. And again, when it works for people, it works.
Yes. I will not lie. It is something you have to be really aware of, keeping a balance in your life. There have been years where I don't work out, except for maybe
we've talked about
twice
that
a year.
Before, right? The business is all consuming, or can be all consuming.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happens, you end up having an unbalanced life, which I think isn't good for any of us, right?
That's correct. So I'm always, that's one thing I'm still trying to perfect. I'm always reading something, but one of the books is Who, Not How.
Is that on your nightstand right now? You reading?
It is.
Okay.
It is. And it just talks about the first thing as a rainmaker, entrepreneur, whatever the case, is that rather than figuring out how you're going to do it all, you're going to figure out who's going to do it, and then do what you enjoy and what you're good at, which is typically being a rainmaker and being the strategic, big picture thinker. So I think that's really helpful. A lot of people think, I don't want to spend the money on this or that, but what it opens you up to, like, I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't have my team. It would be impossible, humanly impossible.
Well, that's a great point. You have to learn to delegate, right? To be a boss, delegate. and focus on what you do best, and you're the rainmaker, so it's focusing on the clients and getting the business to happen. And again, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Keep being the beacon for new agents to see what can be done in this business. So outside of real estate, do you have a favorite restaurant in Austin? Where's your go-to?
Gosh, so top of mind would be any restaurant by Larry Foles group. They started Eddie V's, one of my all-time favorites. ATX Cocina, Red Ash. Larry, you're gonna owe me for this. No, I'm kidding. And their newest, Jay Carver. And I think they just took over another one, which used to be a Z Tejas up at the Arboretum. But it's just always that whatever he touches turns to gold. He's got the Midas touch. So that would be for restaurants. In terms of just entertainment, again, music. I am or was a musician. My son is an extremely talented guitar player, has started a band, and so we'll see where that goes.
Do you ever step in and play with the band just to bother them?
Well, he has made me sit down. See, I'm better at reading music. If somebody says, hey, play us, and I mean, yes, I could sight read music, but what I'm really good at when I practice 6 months for 6 hours a day is classical. But my son's the opposite. He can just pick up a guitar and just play anything. So music, I ACL, we have my other half and I have season tickets there. The Moody Center, which is a newer venue. Those are a little smaller. I like those better than just the huge venues.
Right.
But some great acts.
Yeah, I sort of believe that the music you like tells everyone kind of a bit about you. That the beat you listen to is kind of the beat of who you are. Who do you love for music? And we'll kind of wind up on that.
First of all, I must be Sybil.
Okay, yeah.
Because I love everything from classical, jazz, country, Red Hot Chili Peppers, funkish, 80s rock. The only thing that I think of that I just don't love is probably the bagpipes. No offense if you're Scottish. I'll
put a warning somewhere that if you happen to be from Scotland, to please not take legal action against Monica over her.
I'm part Scottish, I think, somewhere in there, Western European. But anywho, yeah. So I like a lot of music, and that's probably. And I love dancing still. I don't do point shoes. Don't break those out, but. I love going to the old standbys, and I'm so happy they're still here. And I heard one is getting, we think, a historical designation.
Awesome.
And that would be Broken Spoke. And then Don's
That place cracks me up.
It is awesome. It has
old
character, and I just love it. I mean, yes, I love all kinds of nice, new, trendy, awesome places, but there's a heart in those. And so a lot of times we go there, so we like to dance.
That is fantastic. Well, Monica, this has been Around the Block with Blake. That's the third time I've said it actually today. That's the most I've ever said it, Around the Block with Blake. I thank you so much for being my guest today, and I hope you enjoyed yourself.
I had a blast. I need to do this every day to stay in shape if I don't work out. So thank you so much for getting my workout in.
So tomorrow at 4 o'clock, let's meet and we'll do another Around the Block with Blake.
Okay.
Thank you, Monica.
Thanks.